Hello, hello. Yes. Sorry, that was actually intentional. We did it to just warm you guys up. So, good morning, everyone. Let's compete with Luktep High one more time. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for everyone for coming from such long distance. And we apologize for ones that we could not manage to give accommodation. We had exceptional level of interest for the summit, which is really great to see for us. My first slide is thank you slide. That's not the last slide. We just wanted to thank all of you for kindly coming and joining the summit. So the purpose of the summit is today, sitting in this forum, we would like to say that we are open for business, and we're really committed to win business from all of you. And to do that, we have already thrown Lutfi Siddiqui at you, not literally, but verbally. We'll also throw a Nobel Prize winner at you. We'll do anything to make sure that we win business from you. But first, I would like to take you to future. Let's think about a movie, Back to the Future. Let's go into that set and imagine that we are in 2035. In 2035, how would Bangladesh look like? You'll all be here again. My successor is going to be here presenting. That will be the 10th investment conference for us. And in that conference, we will not be talking about a rising economy, but we'll be talking about a regional manufacturing powerhouse. A country that's connecting east to the west, a bridge that connects Himalayas to Bay of Bengal, a manufacturing hub that is infested by global investors and local investors who are now exporting to the rest of the world. That vision, that imagination is what's driving us today. But it all started actually about 8 months ago. So from the future, let's go back in time to August 5th, 2024. It's a personal story for almost all of us. Unfortunately, I was in Singapore in an investment banking trading room, but my family was here. My wife was on summer holidays. My brother, who came from Cambridge for summer holidays as well, they were all out on street as part of the protest. So at around noon Singapore time, I asked them, what's going on? What's happening in Dhaka? So what they did was they were part of a crowd. They looked forward, they took a selfie. Sorry, not a selfie, a photo what's ahead of them, and they turned back and took another photo of what's behind them. So this first photo was what was ahead of them, and this one was what was behind them. So we need to digest exactly what happened at that time. The young population, the entire youth, was out on the street, demanding transparency, demanding opportunity, demanding democracy, demanding freedom of speech. And that's what has brought us here today. So today, the expectations are very high. The young population of our country, they're global. Unlike us, they're used to tweeting, they're used to looking at TikTok and looking at Singapore and Bangkok. So they don't want Dhaka to be Dhaka 2.0. They actually want Dhaka to become Singapore and Bangkok in 5-10 years' time. So how do we get there? That's the expectation we have. How do we get to Singapore and Bangkok within 5-10 years? How do we unlock the energy that we got during the August Revolution? How do we harness that energy and convert it into employment generation and industrialization? The story for Bangladesh was always there. A lot of you already know about it. We have 180 million domestic market. We have a young population. Almost half of it is less than 25 years old. The middle and affluent class is about 35 million people, which is as big as the Malaysian total population. We have many, many other factors that has led to where we are today. And actually, I must say that there are companies who have been here for more than 100 years and have made exceptional returns compared to the global markets. So if you look at some of these companies who have actually operated in Bangladesh for a long, long time, the returns they have got in Bangladesh is actually significantly higher than the global average. And today, we also have a fantastic news that one of our own startups called ShopUp, the news came out about an hour ago in Bloomberg that the Saudi sovereign PIF, their investment arm called Sanabil Investments, they have actually co-led a round of $110 million US, along with Peter Thiel's Valor Ventures, to invest in one of our own startup to go global. So let's give a big round of applause to ShopUp. So that's today. That's today. So what's tomorrow? How do we go from here to the vision we have for 2035? So this $180 million story, or 180 million people story, is not enough. I think we need to redefine market. We believe the market is actually much larger. When we talk about market, we should be talking about a much larger regional market which you could potentially serve out of Bangladesh. You set up your factory here, you export out to all these markets. At the same time, I would expect these markets to set up their factories and push it back to Bangladesh, use the ports of Bangladesh, and potentially export out to the rest of the world. So the narrative that we've had of why invest in Bangladesh is not really a domestic market 180 million story. It is a regional story, and it's a global story. To further strengthen ourselves, we have decided to enhance our port capacity. In Chittagong area, what you see now, we are actually tripling that within the next few years, which is essentially allow this region to consider Bangladesh as one of the biggest logistical hubs. However, that's not all. We need to do a lot more. So at the beginning of interim government's period, we actually decided to talk to more than 200 CEOs and entrepreneurs who actually are doing business in Bangladesh today. And we wanted to understand how can we convert our critics into our ambassadors. They are the only ones who could potentially bring business for us. They are the only ones who, if they travel abroad and say Bangladesh is a great place for business, that's when we are likely to get more investment. So we divided all their complaints into two groups, or the solutions that came out of their complaints. The list of challenges are very long. It's from the Earth to the Moon and back. But we whittled it down to a few action items, some of which are short-term wins, so some of that you see here, some of which are actually long-term policy reforms that we would like to also undertake and set the direction of travel for the country in the right course so that the incoming government, the next government, the political parties who come and start driving this economy, they can follow the same script for us. I'll give you a few examples. Let's start with, we talked about a true one-stop service. There are two elements of one-stop service. The first one is the human element, and then there is the digital element. In the human element piece, what we have decided to do is we are going to co-locate the primary agencies, the high touchpoint agencies for our investors in one location. So that instead of the investors walking around different ministries, and we have a lot of them in Bangladesh, they all come to one office and they end up meeting everyone. We've also decided, like banks, and I am from banking, I guess that helped, that we are going to set up a relationship management team under BIDA. What it would essentially do is, just like a corporate banking, relationship banking manager, he would hold hand of the investor and walk them around the landing process. Let's take another example. Our friends in National Board of Revenue helped us set up the authorized economic operator. It's essentially the green channel, or widely known as the green channel setup, where if you're a good customer, you are able to circumvent some of the custom checks and fast-track your process through the ports. That has been picked up as one of the biggest challenges that we have, the time it takes to go from your factory all the way to your customer. And finally, let me show you one more example of policy change. So as you all know, there are many government agencies. We also know there is private sector. The dialogue between private sector and government agencies has not necessarily always been the most collegial. So how do we break that apart? The first thing we need to do is to club the government agency into one. We need to show one face. We need to be one outfit for our customers, our investors, and then create a bridge between our private sector and the government of Bangladesh. So what we are planning to do is to set up a private sector advisory council that will actually counsel the head of state directly on a regular basis, essentially voicing the changes that they would want to drive the economy forward. So these are some of the examples of what we are planning to do. And if we are able to do that, we do believe that we will get to the end, the vision we have for 2035. Now, of course, there are many, many other factual reasons, statistics, tables, Excel files that I can share with you to tell you why you should invest in Bangladesh. In fact, the next slide will have a QR code which you can scan and download, which will have essentially this presentation. So you didn't have to take the photos of the presentation, by the way. You will have this presentation, and you will also have an appendix of facts and figures and why we think competitively we're actually in a very better place than our competitors. So please watch out for the QR code. But before I go there, I would really like to finish off with this. There are economic reasons to invest in Bangladesh, but I really don't want you to invest in Bangladesh for the economic reasons. If you really think about investing in Bangladesh, think about investing in Bangladesh because of the transformational journey you're going to be part of. For the odd mixture of warmth and resilience our people have, and our century-old culture paired with the shared values that we have with you. So I rest my case here. Thank you very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you all.